Welcome to Sherpa Dave's Recon series. On this channel, I try and make Zwift more approachable and more fun for riders new and old. As you can see, I fit a bit more into the old category, but I don't let that stop me. If you want to get more out of Zwift, follow along with us today. And if you like what you see, have a look at some of the other videos that we have on the channel. Now, this is a Recon Ride for the upcoming Team Time Trial on the UCI course in Yorkshire, England. When the Worlds was held here a couple of years ago in 2019, we had some classic British summer weather. That's not going to get in the way of your ride next Thursday though. Let's dive right in. Whenever the UCI course figures in a Team Time Trial, it rips teams apart. Doesn't matter whether it's the forward or the backward direction we're going, always seems to have the same result. Will your team learn from Sherpa Dave's Recon today, or will you founder and split up like most of the teams that are out there? This isn't really about your staying power or your strength. This is about how attentive each of you can be to the rest of the riders in your team. It's about whether you can lead the team instead of leaving the team. Out of the pens, turn right, and you're pretty much right into Otley Road, which is the long drag up at around 4%. From there, you can see that this is up, down, as you take a long circle around the Harrogate hillsides to get you back into town for the 500-meter uphill sprint finish. And then you got to do it all over again because this is a 2-lap ride. DS tear-off sheet was pretty tricky today. I could have really simplified it as, if you're going uphill, climbers don't split the team, and if you're going downhill, heavyweights don't split the team. Any way you slice this one is really just about staying close together and keeping an eye on your teammates. Let's have a quick review of where we are in terms of subscriber count. So as of filming, we are at 884 subscribers, and that's up a couple of hundred in the last 7 days. Here's the up-to-date list of Coffee Club members, and a special shout out today goes to Stefan and all the riders in Team Valhalla. As always, the most important thing you could possibly do to help the channel out is to take the link to this video and distribute it out to everyone that you know that's a Zwifter, and in particular a racer. From the bottom of my heart, I want to thank every one of you that watches these videos. I have a lot of fun putting them together, and I hope you have even a fraction amount of that fun watching. Alright, let's jump into the ride. As you come out of the pens and turn right, there are only a few hundred meters for you to gather yourselves and get in any kind of formation before you hit the Otley Road climb. While that's a long hill at 1.7 kilometers and 4%, the good news is the grade's pretty consistent from start to end. So you can just get in formation and power through it. This is a great opportunity to practice your team observation skills. How are you guys all doing? Are you staying tight as a group, or are you stretching yourself out to breaking point? If you are, refocus, get back together, and continue up that climb as a group. The top of the Otley Road climb comes at 2.2 kilometers into the first lap. There is a short 200-meter flat top before it descends down. The trick here, if you've followed instruction number 1 from a couple of seconds ago, is that you're now all together and you can power through that flat top. So you've got some speed and momentum as you start the hill on the other side. After that short descent, you have a fairly long sustained but not too steep ascent. It is 2 kilometers at just under 2%. This should pose you no trouble at all as long as you're paying attention to each other. So again, stay together, stay in formation, and move up that hill. Marker to gather yourselves together is this sharp right hand turn. It comes 300 meters before the end of the climb, but the climb is fairly shallow at this point. So this is the time to start girding your loins and working together to build up speed and momentum for the pot bank wall descent. The descent starts shallow but gets up to 13%. There's definitely time to get up to speed, and there is a little bit of saving to be made if you get into that super tuck. At the bottom, you've got this sharp zigzag, and after the zigzag, you have a little bump up and then down before you hit the next main ascent. Power through that hump so you don't lose too much momentum and you carry a bit of speed going into the climb the other side. You may have separated coming down the pot bank wall. If you have, the start of this new climb is a great place to regroup, get back into some semblance of formation and carry on up the hill. The end of this hill comes at 6.5 kilometers. It is a sharp right turn, but at the top of this turn, you have a big squirrel balloon that you can see from about 400 meters out. So keep an eye out for that squirrel, and once you see him, just keep smoothly and steadily pedaling till you get there. Past the squirrel at 6.5 kilometers, just like the last two hills, this is the perfect opportunity to gather yourselves together and start to accelerate on the downhill. It starts as a shallow descent and then gets up to -8%, perfect for super tucking, and you should have no trouble getting up to speed. I was doing 65 kilometers an hour down here, and I was Billy No Mates on the Recon Ride. I certainly expect all of you to be going faster than that. The KOM numbers themselves are pretty misleading because this has a short flat section in the middle that throws off the averages. What you really need to be prepared for is two distinct 7 to 8% climbs that go on for quite some time, and then separating them is the flat bit in the middle. Winning teams are made on this climb. If you can hold it together going up here, you're doing a great job. So really do that. Hold it together, stay together, keep an eye on your teammates, and go up as a group. Don't split here because it'll be really hard to regroup on the descent that sharply comes afterwards. can see the KOM gate from a few hundred meters out. That's a great thing to focus your attention on as you're pedaling up. The ascent turns to descent really quickly once you pass that gate. The descent is not all that sharp. There are a few points where you might be able to get up to super tuck speed at the appropriate gradient, but it's really not worth the effort. I suggest just pedaling through all the way down the hill. The switch from downhill to uphill happens as you pass the Royal Pump Room. The Royal Pump Room is an old spa water pumping station, so remember to hydrate, everybody. Now, the trick with this section is that it starts really steep, but it eases off, and there's even a little bit of a downhill before you get to that sprint line. From the sprint banner, there's a long drawn out descent, but you cannot rest here because this descent has a nasty bump in the middle of it that gets up to 8 or 9% for a short while. So concentrate, and as soon as you see the descent turn to ascent, power through it so you can get up to the top. And then it's another stretch of downhill. This last descending section ends as you take a sharp right hand turn, and there's another one of those nice squirrel balloons to clearly mark your path. You can see that squirrel from 100 meters out. It's time to start readying yourselves for the hill that leads to the start finish gate. As you make that right hand turn, the first 100 meters are really steep, reaching 10% at one point. After that though, it does ease a lot, and you're at 2-3% for the run to the gate. At that point, if you're on the second lap, you're done. If you're on the first lap, you got a whole other lap to go. Okay, the last thing to leave you with are the target times. So without further ado, let's jump right in and take a look at how well I think you will all do. Give you some targets if you want to make Platinum League this week.